What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Tuffy Talk live show, baby. Really appreciate y'all tuning in here once again, as we're excited to get rolling here today. So we got a ton to get to here today. But first of all, obviously, we got myself, Greg, and Ken's here. Macon should be joining us here momentarily. But first of all, again, I want to thank everybody, first of all, for their willingness to I guess flexibility is the word, as we obviously have been doing the live shows not on Mondays recently, obviously due to the holidays. And then yesterday, we figured that everybody would want to watch that nail biter of a championship game. was just on the edge of my seat for the first 2 seconds. Like, I was just on the edge of my seat for like 2 seconds, and then
once the coin flip, it was done.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I literally messaged the crew being
they scored.
Yeah, they scored one time.
Relax.
Yeah. Okay.
It was close for the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, they held their best receiver to their best wide receivers had more than 2 receiving yards. So I mean, boom, take that. So I literally thought about messaging the crew being like, all right, do you guys actually want to do this? I think we could do it right now. I don't think anybody's watching that game.
Nobody's watching anymore.
Nobody.
No,
the views just went down.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Russell. Thank you.
But definitely, again, yes, Russell, obviously got to give a shout out to our girl Cans for finally being back on the show. So thank goodness for that. Finally got her back on. So looking forward to hearing some more of her Ken's thoughts for sure.
Crazy talk.
Yeah, Kenzie talk, exactly. But first of all, obviously, for those who have been a part of the live show before, you know the drill. For those who have not been a part of the show, basically just send any comment that you have, or at least just say hey, just like Christian and Russell and all they were doing. Just say hey. We'd love to know who was tuning in here with us. But if you have any questions, thoughts, topics that you would like for us to get to, just put them in the comments. And again, we'll definitely get to as many, if not all of them, and we'll make sure to touch on each of them. So first of all, gotta give a shout out to Nicholas, first of all, saying what's up, everyone. What's up, Nicholas? Appreciate you tuning in. And then Michelle points out that it does make sense because she points out that it's a terrific Tuffy Talk Tuesday. So
it's a mouthful.
I do like that.
5 times.
I do like that ring for sure. Yeah. And then obviously Rusty and Christian giving the love to Ken's, finally having her back on the show. But with that being said, first and foremost, obviously got to talk about the elephant in the room for sure, which is men's basketball is back.
Natty champs, baby. I told y'all 3 months ago.
Yeah.
No one
question mark. I mean,
exclamation point. There's
exclamation point. Okay. All right. I
like it.
Hey, we'll find out Saturday. I'm telling you, we'll truly
get
find
real
out
quick.
Saturday. Yeah, I mean, not to necessarily say that. I mean, the 2 wins up until this point with beating Duke at home and winning at Virginia Tech, which Greg was at personally, and I know Greg will kind of give you in here, but obviously facing Miami, number 12 Miami, if I'm not mistaken, at home Saturday afternoon at 12:00 p.m. So, Greg, but tell us your thoughts on the Virginia Tech game, brother.
Well, actually, I just wanted to touch base real quick on both Duke and Virginia Tech. 2 games in a row we have led from start to finish, had not been down. So
the Duke game wasn't a lead; it was a straight up.
No, that was a butt whooping. Yeah, an old fashioned donkey stomp, as someone likes to say.
I like that. I'm gonna start saying that.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't remember the last time we can say that we've led 2 consecutive games wire to wire. I honestly,
yeah,
I don't know, but as far as Virginia Tech, look, great road win. Again, a hostile environment. It was about 95% full in there. And it got a little dicey a couple times. The last minute was weird, to say the least. But
scary.
Yeah, but hey, made free throws, right? So that's what matters.
Exactly. No, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, honestly, which I think, it's great to see kind of close out games, because I mean, I think everybody knew, especially since Virginia Tech's a really good basketball team. I mean, obviously they won the championship last year, and they retained a lot of that crew heading into this year. You're in a hostile environment, in the Cassell Coliseum, or is it Cassell Stadium?
Castle Coliseum.
Castle Coliseum, exactly.
Yes.
So but the fact that we were able, because again, basketball is 100%. It's a game of runs. It's just basically weathering the runs. And you knew, since Virginia Tech did not shoot well in the first half, that they were going to come out all shots firing second half, and they did. And even they're late in the game. I mean, they really did make some huge shots, to keep themselves up and give themselves a chance. Exactly, but hey, we did what it took to win the basketball game.
Yeah, we're basketball now. We're basketball now.
Yeah. That too. I mean, hey.
Hey, if we would have scored that many points, we would have won a lot of football games. So yeah,
that's true. That's true.
I mean, I think this team is just like, you can tell just the connection that they have is different. Like from the bench players to the starters, and it's like we haven't had it in a while where if one person's having a bad night, we have like 6 or 7 more that can step up and actually carry that weight for them. And we haven't had that in forever. So having that with like Jarkel, Baby T, Girl Man T, Casey, DJ Burns. I'm telling you, DJ Burns, fan favorite. Yeah. You heard it here first. Better than
he was awesome. I got to talk to him after the game, and his parents, super nice people.
He's so funny.
Oh, he's so funny. And like the glasses he was wearing, they weren't like for style. It is because of his eye when he got hit for Duke. I saw some people are like, yeah. I mean, hey, he could pull it off. That's a cool look anyway. But
he could wear those in a game, and it would hype us up. Like,
yeah. But I think you hit it on the head, Leighton. Like the way we responded in both the Duke and the Virginia Tech game. Both games, the opponent came out hitting some shots right after the break, and then we just responded. In the Duke game, it was the 8 points basically in a row by Baby T. That steal that he had, and then put up the 3. That was a beautiful piece of magistry. And then on Saturday, I thought we did a really good job. Who was it? Logan, you said it, the defensive intensity. It has been amazing. The way we're forcing turnovers. The one negative I will say is we still need to do a better job of clogging the middle, not allowing people to drive and penetrate to the basket, or do like slip screens. But other than that, I thought we've done a really good job defending the perimeter. Teams have not been shooting very well against us. That just goes to playing hard. And hey, our press has been doing a good job. It may not create a turnover off of that, but it's like it gets the other team out of its rhythm, and they're not able to run and do what they want to do. So if we keep that up, look, right now we've moved inside the. Well, by the way, did anyone see today's bracketology? Did anyone see that?
Yeah, we were put as a 9 seed.
But did you see what was next to our name? Which was weird. It was weird.
What was it?
Automatic qualifier.
Oh, interesting.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
That means Joe Lenardi thinks Joe Lenardi, I guess, thinks that we're going to win the ACC as of today. So,
wow.
I don't know.
Hey, that's what you like to hear. Y'all should have told me that.
Yeah.
You should have told me that.
Well, but also too, I mean, if we win the ACC championship, I mean, being a 9 seed, it's like, but also like, man, the AC champion being a 9 seed, I don't know about that.
I know that would be news in itself.
That would be news with itself for sure. Yeah. But definitely, and the other thing too, which I got to point out, is in both games we came out ready to play from the moment the ball got put in the air.
Second half, we came out ready to play. That doesn't happen a lot.
Yep,
true.
It's like the second half, we're on like a downward spiral.
Yeah, no, exactly. So again, just love, and Michelle talks about the love and encouragement the players have for one another. So apparent and great to see. Again, there's no doubt these guys play for one another. And because also too, I think all of us thought that when we got the news that Jack Clark was out for the Duke game, we were like, oh crap. that's a piece for sure. That's not a big piece, but that's a piece. Exactly. Yeah. And so, but for both games, for us to look really good on both sides of the ball. It's nothing short of impressive.
And go ahead, Kens, go ahead.
And we don't have Isaiah Miranda yet.
Yeah.
And Dusan is gonna be back. So it's like, the guys are just stepping up like crazy. Like the bench players are actually like balling out. It could be actual starters.
Yeah, and that actually leads me to my point is we've done a really good job of rebounding the last couple games. And Jack Clark was our leading rebounder before he went out. The Greg Gantz of the world, like like, welcome back, Greg Gant.
Greg
2
Right?
games in a
Greg
row.
Gant. Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
you got Greg Gant, you got EB, and you got Ross. They're not going to give you points, right? But they gave you defensive presence and they gave you rebounding. And look, we had, I think it was 11 offensive rebounds against Virginia Tech, and those are second chance points that you need. And for us
And we
to
had
go in
13
there,
against Duke. We had
yeah,
13 against Duke.
okay,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So 24
Mhm.
offensive rebounds is quite impressive because normally it's, one and done. You shoot, you miss, and you're back on defense. 24
Yeah.
extra chances. I would be curious to how many points we got out of that, but I remember like 2 or 3 sequences where it was like 2 or 3 rebounds, and then we put up a shot and made it. I think that was in the Duke game.
Yeah, we got like 5 of them.
Yeah, on one sequence.
Yeah.
But it just goes back to the hustle, right? Like rebounding is all about mentality and want to. It's easy to just, kind of turn your back and run back down the court or just kind of just flop your arms out. These guys are wanting to go and get rebounds, and that's a big part of what we're doing right now.
Rebounds and defense. Like our defense looked absolutely amazing. And of course I'm probably being biased, but it looked absolutely amazing against Duke. LJ Thomas, that is one of the best defensive players I've seen in a long time.
He's starting to get more comfortable.
Yeah, like Greg says, he's not going to give you as many points, but he's going to lay his body out on the line on defense the entire time he's in.
Yep.
And it's I'm impressed with how they've been coming out. Kevin Keats is a winner. He's won me back.
I wish I saw it on some social media, but did anyone see the reaction from the Duke manager when Jarkel made that shot? He was just like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like it was the best reaction. It was I just made me laugh. I rerun it like 3 times to find
that game. We were so mad because like I got one of my friends who's a student didn't go, so she gave me her ticket, and we were ready to rush. I mean, Baby T and them were telling us to rush the court, and security came up to us and said, "If y'all rush it, go around to the goals," because we didn't do that a couple years ago. We just jumped the seats and like knocked down people as we were going. But this is another reason I don't like Teddy Valentine. He looks at us. I want to see if this makes sense to y'all. He looks at us.
Hold on. You don't even have to finish what you're saying. You just said Teddy Valentine.
But listen to this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He goes, "You can't rush until both teams are in the tunnel."
Yeah.
I was like, then we can do that in the parking lot. What's the point of rushing? So I was like, well, we don't want to now. Like, it's not fun if it's just us out there. But Baby T was like upset about it because he was at the Wolf and like looking at us like, well, why aren't y'all out here? So I tweeted at him and I was like, look, we tried.
I do like though, like he said, like meet him at the bell tower. Like honestly,
there were a lot of people that went there too.
Look, I'm 45. If I was in the area, you best believe I'd be at the bell tower just having a good old time because that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So
I've just never heard that before. And that was
no. Well, and see, here's me too. Like, because I was really actually kind of conflicted on if I thought we should storm the court or not. Yeah. I mean, from one side, I'm saying yes because of the fact that look at last year. We were the laughingstock of the ACC. This year, we were staring 1-5 in the face, and we come out and just give Duke the business. And so I'm saying, yeah, that was a big win for us for sure.
Yeah.
But also too,
for the guys,
I think by the end of this season, Duke is going to kind of show out as they're a solid team, but definitely not the Duke of olds for sure. Definitely not. So that's kind of another thing too. Is it's like, okay,
number
you beat a solid team, but not. Yeah, number 16 right now, but obviously that the Duke name is carrying 16 for sure.
Yeah.
If it was St. John's or some middle tier school, then they wouldn't be top 25. So, but anyway, so now speaking of too though, I know and by the way too, I'm kind of disappointed that I forgot that Macon couldn't join us, but I'm sure he would love to add his tunes in here. But I do got to ask another question though, because speaking of ranking shockers, was anybody else shocked by women's basketball being number 11?
I was.
Was anybody else shocked by that?
I was.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to go down.
I thought we'd be like 13, 14, 15.
I thought we'd be like 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Well, and
But I
especially
think
too, I mean, just yeah.
But
Go
just
ahead.
like what you just said about Duke, I feel
that's
like it's
exactly what I
our
was gonna
name.
say.
Yeah, our name
That's
is
what I'm thinking
carrying on.
too.
It's
Which,
starting
I
to get a
mean,
little bit of respect.
I'm glad. Like
Yeah.
we haven't had that before. We're usually kicked right out if we lose a
Yeah.
game. So
Yeah.
I
No,
respect it.
that was the
Yeah.
point I was gonna make. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So
Well, especially too, you know, I mean, obviously, because Diamond Johnson played against Boston College.
She did, but
Correct?
that was her first game back.
True. So, but because that would be kind of a thought I would think as well. Okay, like if Diamond Johnson didn't play, we lost to Boston College. Then the rankings would say, well, you know, they didn't, you know, have their starting point guard, you know. So okay, like we'll give them a little bit of a break, but you
we had
know,
lost to
so
Duke the
it's
previous week, right? And they were unranked. So
right.
we had two. Was it back? I think it was back to
it was
back. Or
back
we
to
have
back.
yeah, it was back to back.
Yeah.
Two back to back losses. Now, albeit so ACC losses, but they were on your home court. So, like,
Right.
if anything, that would have been like the okay, you're going to the right, not to the left.
Right.
But
Yeah. No,
I'll take
again,
it.
it's funny, you know. I before the wrestling match against Binghamton, I actually talked with Mary Rawls, who again, I mean, is big time women's basketball supporter, and I mean, she shared the same dumbfoundedness I had, which is like, what's going on? Like, you know, what is this? And honestly, and I kind of said this, and I want to kind of get y'all's thoughts, and let us know in the comments too what y'all think too. I think we really miss Reina Perez. I think we really miss Reina Perez, and I'll explain why. I think that Reina Perez was always that rock that, like, at the end of the day, you know, for 99% of the time, you could trust Reina Perez to be effective in one way or another. She would always be one, usually to make big shots to keep us in. She would or if she wasn't even making shots, she at least was somebody that could distribute the ball very well, and
She
also
gave
to
us
be
that
a rock on the
momentum back.
defensive side as well. She always usually be the one that you could lean on.
Yeah.
And I just feel like intensity wise that we're just not there. You know, we just kind of weren't
we can't
there.
rebound.
Well,
Like
Yeah,
that's
that too.
the
Yeah.
most frustrating thing. Like if we could rebound, it would be a completely different team. But
Yeah.
we can't seem to get. I think we miss Kunane more than anything, obviously. But
Sure.
honestly, I see where you're going, Leighton, with the Reina Perez point. I would say
Yeah.
we're missing depth at point guard, right? So,
Mhm.
because
I
if
agree
you
with that, yeah.
remember, if Reina was out, then you had Diamond, right? But when Diamond was
Sure.
out, we didn't have that Diamond on the back side of the bench.
Yeah.
Now we've got capable players. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We
No,
just don't have that level, you know, yet.
well, at least
And I thought
consistency
tonight,
wise.
yeah, and I think Sanaya has done a good job at point. She's not a point guard. She can play point.
Yeah.
I think she's much better in the two.
Well, and
But
Isaiah James has had some really good games,
she's had
but
some
she's
moments.
also had some struggles as well.
Yeah,
And just
and she's a
yeah.
sophomore. I mean, she's still
Yeah,
learning.
she's
You
young.
know,
Mhm.
she's still growing.
Mhm.
And then Jessica Timmons, she's played great, or I would say really good.
Yeah.
Albeit again in limited action for whatever that is.
Mhm.
And look, I would never ever question our rotation.
No.
Like Coach Moore has done so much for this program. It does sometimes, you know, I'll be like, okay, well, why is this? Why is that? But I mean, I'm
Right.
just a casual fan seeing stuff. But look, we're barely I think we're maybe a third into the ACC schedule.
So a lot of
Look,
basketball left.
we're going to get real quick into the teeth of this schedule. Like, I mean, this week, I mean, we have Florida State, which, you know, they're okay. They're nothing really. Sunday we travel to, Crapple Hill.
Yep.
And I will be
I'm sorry,
there.
I haven't heard that before.
You've never heard that one before, Crapple Hill?
Crapple
No.
Hill? Oh,
No.
that's a basic one.
Yeah.
I call
That's
it
not even
Chapel Hill.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chapel Hole. There's a bunch.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
yeah, so I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna look as classless as possible. I don't know. I may even I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a lot obnoxious.
As
But
you should.
I'm looking forward
I'm
to it.
gonna give you my obnoxious for that.
Yes, I
For
will wear
that.
that badge.
I got you, Greg.
It will be. We will be so loud in there. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I don't know what TV it's going to be on, but I promise you're going to hear me.
I expect to. If I don't, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Look, if anyone, so it's a twofold thing for me. You know, it's Carolina, right? Like, so there's already a natural hatred, and then
Right.
and then that wonderful coach of theirs can't shut her mouth long enough to not say something stupid. So that just ticks me even more. So you know what?
Yeah.
It's
You wrote
on.
your check. Now we're going to
Right.
cash it for you. So
Game
True.
on.
Yep. Well,
challenge
and,
accepted.
yeah. Well, and one thing too, which I want to point out, looking back at the Boston College game, first of all, Jakia Brown Turner only shot the ball
Not
3
good.
times.
Not
and
good.
didn't make any of them, but
Nope.
only shot 3 times.
Yep.
To me, that's an issue. Just because
she's an all ACC player. You got to be more. You got to be more in the game.
You got to find. Yeah, you got to find get her the ball somehow, some way.
Well,
it's
not even that. It's not even that so much. Like she's a playmaker. Like she can make her own shot and create her own shot. She just wasn't aggressive for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I got nothing. But
I mean, she played for 22 minutes. You know, so she should have shot the ball more than 3 times.
I don't think she was in foul trouble either. I think she only had like 3 fouls in the game.
She had 4 fouls late.
4 fouls. Okay.
But still, but also too, I mean, between Camille Hobby, Mimi Combs, and River Baldwin are 3 main big women. We had 13 points.
Big women. Just say bigs. Can't say
big. Well, yeah,
women are sensitive about their height and weight.
Well, you know, again, it's in men's basketball is big men. So I mean, you know, just again, so that was Anyway, okay, whatever. Our bigs for women's basketball, we had 13 points. And a combined 8 rebounds between our 3 main bigs, which is just not that's just not going to get it done. Simple as that. You know, you got to be able to take care of the ball and get to the ball. You know, box out, find a way to get the ball. And because even Logan talks about how, you know, the forward position has been so different, having multiple girls this year instead of relying on the one, whether it was Kunane or if you subbed in Camille Hobby. Yeah, no, you're good. So to me, I feel like that the benefit of that should be, since you have multiple bigs out there, that you should be able to get more of the rebounds. So, but that's not happening right now. So
we're gonna get this figured out. I mean, I have no
doubt. I have full trust.
You're gonna
Well, and let's talk about the difference. Michelle kind of mentioned earlier about, you know, does she think because of the way the point differential was, how we finished that game is why we stayed at 11. And I think there's definitely some truth to that. A decent Virginia team. They're an upcoming team. They were very bad last year, but they've made a lot of improvements. Look, we can't talk enough about Madison Hayes and the job that she did. Got 7 blocks, 1 off the all-time school mark. And by the way, she did all 7 of those in the first half.
Wow.
She was all over the place. Much better. We came out with a lot more intensity, did a much better job of distributing, playing defense. So maybe that's just the right step in the direction. And remember, here's the other thing. We've probably only played 5, maybe 6 games with our full complement of players. Because you got to remember, Mimi was out for a couple of games.
Jada was out.
Jada's been out. Diamond's been out. So there's been a lot of mixing and matching. Maybe, you know, pairs that maybe wouldn't play together, but they've been having to play together due to injury. Let's see what they do in the next 2 weeks. Like I said, we're going to get in the teeth of the schedule real quick. We got Carolina, we got Virginia Tech, we got Notre Dame, we got Louisville, all still on the schedule coming up in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to really find out about this team here at that juncture of the season.
Well, and especially too, I mean, looking at the USA Today top 25, so they have Notre Dame at 7, State at 12, Virginia Tech at 13, Duke at 19, and UNC at 22. So I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about. But again, even with the struggle against Boston College, the struggle against Duke, I mean, we're per the polls second in the ACC right now.
And here's the one thing that the one team that you didn't hear in that, and I just said we're getting ready to play them, is Louisville. They were top season 3.
Yeah, like remember freaking Debbie Antonelli went out and saying, you know, Louisville is the definition of consistency. And again, it's just been a weird year.
It has been. And
a weird year.
Again, look, it's January. We still have a month and a half before it really gets like where it really matters.
Intense. Yeah.
No, exactly. Again,
we're gonna be okay, people.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Relax.
okay.
Yes. No.
It's just uncharted waters, right? Like we've been so spoiled the last 3 to 4 years.
Right. That's what I was saying. Like we're not used to losing it all. And
right.
I love hearing that.
Newsflash, we're human. Like it's gonna happen. Yeah.
Well, and again, I mean, think about Louisville women's basketball fans going, we're not even ranked right now. what the heck? Like, what do you mean? Like we're Louisville. Like, come on.
And that's the only thing they had to hang their hat on, because that men's team is putrid. In fact, I would say the women could probably beat the men's team.
I mean, I think it'll be a heck of a game. So let's put it that way.
Heck of a game.
It'd be a heck of a game. And because Louisville returned a couple of pretty big pieces too. So I mean, it's not like they lost. I would definitely say we lost more than they did, for sure. So I mean, but again, at the end of the day, I think that it's a great thing that right now for NC State basketball fans, it's a great time for NC State basketball fans. You got men's basketball looking pretty darn good right now, looking very positive, heading into a huge game at home, which, by the way, too, I got to say this very clearly. All right. Duke game. I remember when it was like you had to stand like this in order to be able to stay in your seat and watch the Duke game. And I mean, and I'm saying this, completely honestly, saying obviously, yes, I wasn't there at the game, but just, again, I'm over 45 minutes away and just couldn't do it. But I mean, I'm going to be there though for this Miami game. And so what I am saying is that at the end of the day, we can't control what happened with the Duke game, but what we can control is that on Saturday afternoon, it's not even a night game. It's literally a noon game on Saturday. Like, there is no reason. Also, too, classes are back, so students are back. All students need to be there. Need to be there early. Need to be loud, and all fans too. We need to pack that baby out. It is a revenge game. We blew it the first time, but we're gonna get it this time.
And guaranteed. Our guys have shown they deserve the packed house.
Yeah. Everybody's been begging. Give us something to cheer for. Well, there you go.
This is it.
We're on a two-game winning streak.
They handed it to us, so be there. I mean, these guys have not experienced how crazy PNC Arena can get. No one on our team right now has, except Chase Graham. He's seen it.
Yeah.
But no one really on our team has experienced just how loud PNC Arena can get. So
here's something else. I don't know if anyone saw in this week's top 25 for men's. We got 4 votes.
I did see that.
Yeah, we got 4 votes. I mean, it's a start. Look,
more than we've got in the past 3 years.
I mean, right? Combined.
Right, all of them.
And here's the thing, too. Look, we've lost 3 ACC games, but guess what? Those are the 3 top teams in the ACC right now.
And that's what
Pitt,
people aren't
Clemson,
understanding.
and Miami are the 3 top teams. So it's not like we lost to the bottom tier. Now, we thought when we lost to Pitt that they were going to be a bottom tier ACC team. And it still may happen. Like, they may shuffle down eventually. But right now, they're one of the really surprise stories. Yeah, they're one of the surprise. And Clemson, again, another surprise team. And it seems like, what is it? Baldwell, what's his name? Coach for Clemson.
Clemson. Yeah. Yeah, he's been there forever.
Yeah, but every time it seems like he's about ready to get fired, he pulls off one of these type of seasons.
I know, yeah.
So, anyway, like, look, we got a squad. Just come out and support these guys. They deserve it. I think they've earned it. All right, not deserved it. They've earned it.
I mean, they've been reading what everybody says. Like, give us something to be hype about.
Yeah,
and they're like, here, like we can't keep doing it without y'all here. So
and because keep in mind, y'all, like at the end of the day, I think that anybody who has doubted Keats and I mean and rightfully so. I mean, again, over his last couple of years,
some things.
Sure. I mean, he's done some things which have warranted some doubts. But at the end of the day, keep in mind that it is 100%, like everybody within the state needs to agree that it is the benefit for us and for NC State if Keats is successful. We don't want to have to start all over again. We don't want to have to fire him and have to find somebody else and
we don't want to have
possibly
to
start from square one. No, because again, we like we've talked about in multiple live streams, we talked about last week as well. Like, this is the time, if you're going to take control or if you're going to move up into the elite part of the ACC, this is the time to do it. And
we got the triangle area, not even necessarily. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it's not one of those like automatic who's going to be it. Like, it's anybody's game.
It's anybody's game.
And that's why I'm excited for February 19th.
Look,
that's going to be a crazy PNC.
Right now, we're one slot behind Carolina in the net. I think they're 27 and we're 28. Like right now, everything is trending like positively for state. So let's keep that momentum going. Let's get people at PNC. Let's blow the roof off that place and let these guys know that, hey, we're behind them, because I don't know if they really understand that. Like you like for every 2 or 3 good comments you see on Twitter, you see 3 or 4 that are negative. It's like, come on, man, let's get rid of that junk. Like
they haven't
we're
experienced
in there.
yeah. Like they go to football games and see it's sold out every game, and I know that they're like, well, dang.
Yeah.
Well, they're giving us what we
And
need
that's
to be able to do it.
almost 3 times the amount of seats.
Exactly.
True. Yeah.
So like,
yeah. No, and again, too, I think, first of all, keep in mind that unlike the national championship, you can tailgate at our game. So yeah, just
That's
and I still laugh at that too. By the way, I know
So
we're I'm taking, but I mean that's like here.
so dumb.
Yeah. And then also too, did you see as well that literally they were selling 10 times more Georgia merchandise, national championship merchandise, than they were TCU as well. So again, for us being the guys are kind of looked at as afterthought behind UNC Duke. Hey, I feel for TCU 100%. I couldn't imagine, being pissed off. But of course, then you watch the game and you're like, oh, that's why.
There it is.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Did
cool.
anyone else find that it was weird it was raining inside the stadium?
Yeah, that is
an open air dome.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing.
So
but
weird.
Engineering, right? God, where can we find some engineers? Like we don't have any here in Raleigh,
a
right?
5 trillion billion quazillion stadium, and it's raining inside of it. So
yeah, no, it was weird. But yeah, no. So again, y'all, just please, if you don't have tickets already, just find a way. This is going to be a huge game. It's going to be an amazing game. I truly do feel it's going to be a packed out PNC arena. But again, I don't want state fans to rely and say, oh, it's going to be packed. I don't need to be there. No, don't rely on that whatsoever. Be there.
Saying that we got to say that nicely. Please be there.
Yes. Please.
I can't be mean.
No. Again, we still love Wolfpack Nation, but again, we are saying that there is zero reason why it's not packed out. It can't be the time. It can't be the day. It can't be, I got to work.
Let me check the weather. Hold on. I want to make sure that there's no access.
It's not raining. Yeah.
We sell out noon football games. Right across the street.
Yeah.
Exactly. In case you forgot where it's located. Yeah. It's right across the street from Carter Finley.
So just go to Carter Finley tailgate and then walk over to that other place.
So true.
I gotcha. Jack and Thomas Outdoor said, I need a ride. That's my problem. Hey man.
Where you at? We'll come pick you up.
Where you at? I mean, DM us, man. Like we'll help anybody, to find a way to get you there. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that we're gonna pay for everybody's tickets and rides or whatever. I'm just saying, hey, we'll talk it through because then again, it is that important.
With a freaking trailer on the back of his truck.
Yeah. Hey, I love it.
U-Haul.
We're heading to the game, y'all.
We're coming in. Hey, look, all right. I'm going to give you the perfect pitch why you need to come to this game. All right.
Get it, girl.
I am getting on the road at 6:30 in the morning to drive to Raleigh.
Wow.
That's
What's
right.
your excuse?
King.
Yeah. That's a heck of one. And by the way, too, Greg, we still haven't calculated the full. We need to do a map still of your football routes.
I think it was just under 9,000 miles. I think it was like 87 or 8,800 miles. I have it here on my phone. Give me 1 second.
That's crazy.
Go ahead and keep talking. But yeah.
Jack says New Bern. I mean.
Greg's face.
All right, Jack, you got me.
Yeah, you got me. That is a little bit, yes. But
hitchhike.
Hey, I mean, Jack. I mean, if there's anything we can do to help, man, just let us know. But yeah,
anything else?
Anything else that we can do, let us know. So with that being said, Wolfpack first and last thing I want to do as well is I want to pitch as well to remind Wolfpack Nation as well that besides the main guys, obviously we got baseball coming up here, which I know everybody's excited about.
They just started training.
Training, right? Exactly. So and everybody's excited about obviously the new faces of Carter Trice, getting Sam Highfield back, Lou James Gruber should be a great team, and there's no doubt that we're excited about them.
We'll definitely be talking about that soon.
We'll definitely be talking about them. We'll definitely be doing a preview of them here soon. Probably bring it back on Rob Chimrog, make that happen. But the one thing which I want to say as well and remind everybody is keep in mind that we are lucky as NC State fans, and we're lucky at NC State to have multiple teams besides the main four that are competing not only in the ACC but competing nationally. Obviously, you have softball coming up here, which again, to remind you, 2 years ago we had a top 5 recruiting class, and so we're going to start to see the fruit of that labor here this season. Yep. Softball is going to absolutely crush this season. So make sure to go check them out again. Tickets are crazy cheap. You could buy season tickets for like maybe 100, 200 bucks. It's like really something cheap. Like that.
It's probably less than that because men's baseball is is $199, but they add the extra $100 on. So it has to be less than $100.
So probably even less than that. And again, keep in mind too that like if you need another pitch, if you're not first of all, if you're not a part of the Wolfpack Club already, make sure to do that. Again, it's super cheap to be a part of it. And Ben Broussard is not going to turn away any money that you want to give. But also too, again, all this goes towards Wolfpack Club points as well. So, I mean, keep that in mind. It all goes towards points. But, obviously we talk about softball, but like wrestling, like right now, like, dude, we are about to get into the heart of the ACC schedule here, which is going to start off super tough next weekend at Virginia Tech. It's going to be crazy. So, but this weekend, Friday night, we're going against Army. So make sure if you can be there, again, you can have literally a NC State schedule this weekend. You can go to wrestling on Friday night. You have men's basketball at 12. Gymnastics is hosting Michigan State in Reynolds at 4. And then Sunday you got NC State women's basketball
Chapel Hill.
At Chapel Hill. So you can have a heck of NC State weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So I mean, I guess all I'm pitching out there is, again, keep in mind, support all these teams. Like I'm telling you, like they deserve it. They have earned it. And they're not being talked about enough. And that's why, again, that's one of the main reasons we started Tuffy Talk, was to shed some light. Again, we went and covered NC State at UNC in gymnastics last night. And I mean, again, just really trying to
that's a heartbreaker.
Well, and then the one thing which I'll say about it is, so UNC competed last week in an invitational in Vegas. And also on top of that, UNC actually just came off of one of their best years ever. They actually went undefeated last year in the regular season in gymnastics and returned most of their people here this year. So obviously your season opener at UNC, not in front of your home people, against, a team that's already had one opportunity to, kind of get, the rust off earlier a week ago. I mean, but again, keep in mind that even that score that we had broke the program record for the highest score in their first meet. So it's bittersweet for sure. He hate to lose to them, the Chiefs for sure. But again, there's going to be more opportunities there for sure. And the other thing which I want to point out as well is there's actually even rumors, because right now in gymnastics, it's one of the few varsity sports that we have that we're actually not competing in ACC. We're competing in EAGL, which includes like New Hampshire.
That's weird. I didn't even know that. That's good. That would be a good trivia question.
Yeah, we're actually not in the ACC. It's a EAGL. And it's a bunch of different schools, including UNC, and I think Pitt even as well. But anyway, but there's rumblings that the ACC is actually expanding in gymnastics, and there's actually going to be an ACC conference.
There'll be enough teams then to qualify.
So
definitely,
and expanding to ACC, which will make a lot of sense. So again, can't say enough. Support these teams, y'all. We are lucky. We are so lucky. So take advantage of it. Super cheap to support these men and women, and there's a huge benefit from your side in terms of even for the Wolfpack Club points as well. So,
two thoughts
real
quick.
Go ahead.
This will be the first time I ever root against America. when NC State wrestling plays Army or wrestles Army. So
on Friday.
Every other day I'm pro America, but you're going down, Uncle Sam, on Friday night. And number two, Rusty, to answer your question, hopefully we'll be back at Doak for the first series. I was talking to Justin Cook today, and there's some delays in getting things done, but it's supposed to be done 10 February, which is 7 days before opening day. We're hoping. Now there are
new.
That's for phase one. Remember, this is going to be a 3-year approach to get everything done at Doak, but the first set of things should be done this before season opener. But they are making contingencies, potentially playing over in Holly Springs and or at the Carolina Mudcat Stadium. That's like the two of the potential what we call COA's course of actions. So
interesting.
We'll see what happens there. Fingers crossed, though. It all depends on the weather. Like if you guys start getting crappy weather down there and they can't do work, then obviously that's going to push things to the right. But fingers crossed they get it done.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, fingers crossed for sure. But the one thing which I will say, though, is, man, that scoreboard is amazing.
It looked nice.
Oh, I'm so excited.
If you guys don't follow Justin Cook on either Twitter or Facebook, man, if you're into Pac-9, that's your dude, man. He's all up in there. He's been dropping pictures, and he's really, really well connected. So
no, I would say, I don't know if I've ever, man. I mean, he's, in terms of like the biggest NC State supporters of one sport, I don't know if
yeah.
there's really any that could beat Justin Cook in baseball.
Ooh,
Man.
not for baseball, but
you
I would honestly say Chuck would probably give him a run for
Chuck
wrestling.
and wrestling, that is
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would give that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, this guy literally just
He
goes
eats and
to the
breathes it.
dope, stands
360.
outside of them, and just takes pictures of practice, of the renovations. Like, this guy's next level.
It's good stuff.
Like, he's
I love
awesome.
it. He
He's a
keeps
good
me
deal.
he keeps me in the loop, so I
Right.
appreciate him. So
No, absolutely.
Anyway, shout
so
out
with
Justin.
that being said, y'all, we're gonna jump on over finally to some tweets of the week. So with that being said, once I find the appropriate one, here we go, y'all. All right. So our first tweet of the week. Got to give a shout out to Sidelines NC State, which, by the way, too, I love the new logo. I don't know if it's changed, owners or runners, whatever it may be. But first of all, we got to give a shout out to the logo. But the question being, for those who are listening in, the question is, what would you give for State to win a national championship? And yeah, and Greg says I would break my other leg. No. Well, and obviously, I'm sure that he's talking about football, but I mean, I would leave this open to
anything.
Well, I would leave it open to any of the
revenue sports.
Yeah.
Well, the main four: women's basketball, men's.
But you can throw in baseball. Wrestling and baseball or softball. And granted, we've already won the national championship in cross country, so we'll take that off the table. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, Logan Tate just throws it all out there and says, "My left lung, man, dude, that is, whoo, man." Now, Rusty says exactly my thought right there, which is that he wants it so bad for Elliott. I think if he could, like, again, national championship, sure, that'd be amazing. But
is that the sport we would all say we would probably? I mean, like from a pure NC State like fan, right? Like if you are entrenched or plugged into all the sports, I would say, okay, actually, no, let me change this. Which coach would you want to get a national championship for? How about we take it that way?
Yeah, of course.
Elliott. I think it's got to be Elliott, right? Like there's no, I don't think it's not even a question. No. Now, if you're a fan, what sport and what would you give? See, I'll take that even a couple more levels.
Yeah.
I would be homeless for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
For State to win a national championship.
Well, I got a backyard.
I can't say my life because then everybody will be like, "Whoa, like you're going too far." But
yeah.
I would lay in the street. I would lay on I-40 if we won a national championship.
Yeah. Logan and Michelle both say Elliott, and then the old doggo says my arm. Don't care unless it's men's basketball or football, maybe baseball. And everybody says football. I mean, again, the problem with football is
got to get through.
It's there are giants in football for sure. There are giants in football, no doubt. And also too, there's bias too. I mean, for sure, of a sort towards it. You got to be in the right position. I mean, look at TCU last night. I mean, dude, because like everybody's saying they don't belong, but then they beat Michigan. I mean, keep that in mind too. They beat Michigan.
And this isn't a TCU show, but I will say this real quick. Like they played in the Big 12, which is by far the weakest next to the Pac-12 of the Power 5 conferences. They got Oklahoma in a down year. Texas is not what it is. Their next best team was like Oklahoma State or Baylor, and they're not upper echelon teams by any stretch of the imagination. So, like, yes, did they earn their way? Yes, they did. But look, they got Michigan on a very bad day because Michigan is clear better team. When you throw two,
I thought Michigan was going to win it all.
Yeah, when you throw two pick sixes, you're already putting yourself behind the 8 ball. So and then Ohio State brings in a Carolina kicker, so they were already doomed to begin with.
They knew they were done.
But Nicholas brings up a good point talking about basketball, since we can have that bragging right to UNC Duke. And since
Absolutely.
UNC and Duke's blood is in men's basketball, that would be pretty big. But I also say too,
like
that's one of the toughest ones too.
Would be the biggest for fans.
Well, I mean, we have the most tradition there, right? With 2 national championships. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, it would bring back the most like nostalgia for like every fan.
Yeah. Agreed.
But
you'll see it this year.
But ideally, like I think baseball is right there for an ACC championship at the very least. I think.
We played for the last 2 years. We've been in the in the championship game the last 2 years, so we're knocking on that door.
We are for sure. But also too, I mean, like, obviously there's rumblings of Dorn. When he's always said he's talked about retiring at 55 and he's 51 right now. And he came in from the get-go saying 1 pack, 1 goal. So I mean, and me being a former football equipment manager, like an ACC championship in football for me would be like, I mean, it would be indescribable. But I mean, especially, but again, I could say that with baseball too. I mean, especially if we would have beaten UNC in the championship too, that would have been amazing. So it's yeah.
For me, I just want to go to
yeah.
a championship game, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, exactly.
like
Like,
I
let's make
was.
it happen.
If we were on the coastal side, we would go every year.
True.
Well,
we
don't have to
would've
worry
been
about that
on-
anymore.
True.
So.
I mean, other than the two, like I said, and I misspoke just a second ago. Not the last 2 years, the last two ACC tournaments in baseball we've gone to. Because remember,
Yeah.
the 1 year it was canceled.
Right.
But yeah, I just want to go to a national championship game where we've got skin in the game, and if it's in Anchorage, Alaska, I will be there. Come heck or high water. So
Same.
I want to be there. I want to experience it. One
If
of
I'm
my
in
buddies.
debt, I don't care. I'll be
Yeah,
there.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll sell a kidney or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
on the black market.
Now, Logan says, I will forever be haunted by Carolina fans saying 6, no matter what state does in basketball. Yeah,
Whatever.
Again,
I mean,
whatever. Yeah, just leave it at that. But
we went to 6 more classes, so whatever.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. But Nicholas says, yes. I mean, yeah, baseball, we would have won it all in 2001 had we not been screwed. Yes, we would have won it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. We would have won it. Mississippi State fans have said it. We would have won it that year. There's no doubt about it.
I'm so haunted by that.
Yeah, no, for sure. But again, moving on here to our next tweet of the week, gotta give a shout out here to PG Moser, who says here, State moves up to 28 in the NET in the net rankings, and 33 in the KenPom after last night's win. What a massive week was staring 1-5 in league play in the face. I'd now argue a win against Miami would propel the Pack into the top 25.
He doesn't even need to argue it. We will.
You'll be in the talks for sure.
We'd have to.
No, we would be. That would be two out of the 3 last games winning against a ranked opponent in the top 15, top
20.
16. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
no, we definitely will be. I mean, granted, you're right. Like, some things would have to still fall your way. Like, if every one of the top 25 wins, obviously there's no change. But I mean, I don't know if that's ever happened. So,
let's put it this way: you're squarely right there on the bubble of top 25. Which I mean, we haven't even sniffed the thought of a top 25.
We'll have way more than 4 votes if we win.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's put it that way.
We'll fully eclipse that. There's no doubt.
We will move up in the polls if we win. How about that?
Yeah.
Yes, that is guaranteed. So
we will get more than 4 votes.
Yeah, absolutely. So now another one too here from Joe Gillio, who says in the next regular season ACC game after a win over Duke Carolina. So just to basically remind again, so basically in the next regular season ACC game after we had beaten either Duke or Carolina underneath Les, Herb, Sid, or MFG, we were combined 2 of 20. Keats is now 4-1, which go
Real
ahead.
Quick, MFG, Mark freaking Gottfried.
Mark freaking Gottfried.
I know it's Franklin is his real middle name, but
yeah, Mark freaking Gottfried.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So again, so all 4 of those coaches, so Les, Herb, Sid, and Gottfried were combined 2 and 20. Keats is now 4-1 in ACC games after beating either Duke or Carolina. Yeah. So to me, I feel like. Go ahead, Greg.
I mean, that's cute. It's a cherry pick stat.
So?
Like, yeah, I do. I don't buy a lot into that. Now, if you told me he was 4-1 all time against Duke and Carolina, that's a better stat. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing. I would say it's kind of like Keats when in his first season, when he talked about Duke and Carolina, he didn't talk about Duke like being Duke Carolina, like, oh, that would be the biggest thing if we beat Duke and Carolina. To him, it was like, hey, we beat a good team. That's awesome. On to the next. Yeah. Which I kind of like that. Again, I mean, I don't want like for us, it's like for us as fans, it's huge. But I don't necessarily want my coach to think like, oh man, this Super Bowl, y'all. If we beat Duke, then who cares what happens the rest of the season? We beat Duke and Carolina. Like
I get where he's going. Like there's no emotional letdown. That's the point of this. Exactly. Stat. Like there's no letdown after beating your quote unquote rival or one of your bitter opponents. But again, I would like to dissect this more. Like who are the 5 teams we played after those games? Like, are we playing good ACC opponents, or are we playing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyway, it's
Yeah.
it's nice. It's nice,
Sure.
but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything if you're not making the NCAA tournament and winning championships. So
True. No, I hear you. Again, hey, it's a glass half full stat, Greg. Okay.
hey,
Come
I'm glass half full most of the time.
on.
Probably
No, I
more
hear
than
you.
most of the time.
Oh, for sure. No, you definitely are. So also too, got to give a shout out to one of our pack pros, Darian Sebron, getting his first NBA points on a putback shot from his own shot, by the way. And also too gave the Pelicans a season high 132 points as a team. So basically, what this tweet is saying is that when Darian Sebron is playing, that the
They're
Pelicans
unstoppable.
are just unstoppable. That's basically what he's saying right here. I mean, that's at least that's my thoughts of it here. Again, completely unbiased here.
Can we
I'm
pause
just
for
saying.
1 second?
Go ahead, Greg.
Since Keats has been at State, is this his first NBA player, or were the Martin twins still here when he was here?
No, they left.
No, he'd left.
And then
They
Yurt
left.
7 was here for 1 year.
Yeah.
So I guess you could maybe kind of technically count him. I'm just trying to think of NBA players under Keats at State because there hasn't been many.
Yeah, no,
I
not
think
really.
it's the first one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
like-
first one that's legitimately
significant,
Keats.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Yurt 7 was Keats kind of, but I mean the fact that
I mean, he inherited him.
He inherited him, and the fact that he left a year after Keats just showed
this
that
is
just,
like you can make
wasn't
the
fit
argument
for
this
him.
is the first player that he recruited at State
In a
that's made it
state.
to the NBA.
and was at State for
Played
Keats.
at State. Yeah, because I know there's a few guys that like Lee Crowell and a couple of those that had committed but never played a game. So
Right.
Anyway, I just find that interesting, right? Like there's a step in the right direction. That was a guy from last year's team. Now, granted, it wasn't a great team, but you know, that's a check in the box that we hadn't had.
Absolutely. Yeah. Amen to that. Amen. So moving on to our next tweet, obviously got to give a shout out to specifically here our man, the myth, the legend, Thayer Thomas. Officially, you know, again, he didn't have any eligibility left anyway, but you know, again, officially announcing he's moving on, you know, to the NFL.
It's like a breakup.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a
tough.
breakup. It's not a breakup. It's a we'll see you soon.
Yeah,
I know, but still, that's the heart hurt that you feel.
Yeah.
Right. No,
yeah,
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, and you know too, Greg, I do want to ask you because I basically put a tweet out to this, basically saying that if you're making an all-time NC State football team, and Thayer Thomas isn't in the conversation, you're leaving him out. And I want to click.
Go ahead.
So here, let me say this one thing, Greg. Let me explain why.
Go for it, please.
So first of all, because of the fact, first of all, again, he's second all time in touchdowns, which is an amazing stat behind the GOAT, Torrey Holt. You know, receiving yards wise as well, he's up there. Pretty much in every single wide receiver stat, he's up there, right there in top 10 at least, if not top 5. And but also too as well, what he did from the punt return side. So that's another thing I would say as well, is that if you're not going to put him in a wide receiver, I would say specialist wise. I mean, there's you know,
yeah, but you got
guys,
some good specialists there.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I think he is 100% deserves to be in the conversation. That's all I'm saying. I think he deserves to be in the conversation.
It's hard for me to say. It's hard for me because I love the dude. Like he epitomizes what State is, you know, like, you know, when you hear Doran give the, you know, the hands in the dirt speech and all of that, and, you know, blue collar, you know, community, that's Thayer Thomas. I mean, he's the kind of guy that brings his lunch pail every day and comes to work, and he does, you know, he does his thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely make the argument he does more with less, and that's no slight at his skill sets. He's earned everything that he's ever gotten. I personally have the hard time of making the argument that he's in the conversation, unfortunately.
Well, and let me kind of
sell me. I mean, if you sell me, I'm always going to listen.
Well, first of all, I mean, the thing I want to say is, I mean, I think slide receiver wise, I mean, again, Torrey Holt was your outside wide receiver. So, I mean, he's not competing against Torrey Holt. Mm-hmm. But even to like a Jericho Cotry as well, you know, I wouldn't necessarily know if you put him in the slot. I still put him I put him on the opposite side of Torrey. Yeah. But to me, I feel like that when you look at Thayer's game, I think he's really the mix of everything that you need in a wide receiver. He's not the fastest guy, but he's fast enough. He's not the biggest guy, but I mean, he's strong enough. I mean, he can get through anybody. He's a great route runner. He catches everything. I mean, he's Mr. Consistent. You don't really see him really ever in his career having issues with drops. You know, and again, too, I mean, he's a great leader. So to me, I feel like that, you know, there's really nothing about his game that I'm like, I have an issue with, really.
Yeah, and I don't either.
Height.
I don't even. I mean, in today's age, you don't got to be 6'2", 6'4" to be a good wide receiver. But
definitely,
I got guys that, you know, I'm an older guy, so I got guys like Mike Quick. I got guys like Mario Peebles. I got Haywood Jeffries. I've got guys that like some of the legends of NC State back in the day, and of course Torrey Holt, and then you've got, like you said, Kotri, and then you have. You know, Emeka, you've got Calvin. I mean, you've got so many good ones. So for me,
the fact that Thayer Thomas is because most of those guys are predominantly outside guys. That's what I'm saying too, as well, is that he's like Thayer Thomas. I think is your perfect slot receiver.
Yeah, I mean, you can slide. You can
easily work his way in the middle.
Yeah, you can slide some of those guys inside. But here's the other thing too. The argument that I will make against Thayer is that he did have extra time because of COVID and some stuff. So his stats will be slightly elevated. Again, not to take anything away from him. He did his thing. But if we're making this argument, he's just on the outside looking in for me.
I feel you. Hey, again, we're totally just like picking on eggshells here.
I mean, we're nitpicking.
I mean, you know, we're totally nitpicking here.
It's like picking your favorite kid, which I would tell you later off here who's my favorite kid, but we won't talk about that on air.
Me.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like I've adopted you.
It's me.
Yeah, no, right. Now Michelle brings up also too a big point about Torrey Holt being, you know, when is he going to finally get into the NFL Hall of Fame? Hopefully this is the year.
He's at a position. There's such a logjam of wide receivers, and he's just kind of in a numbers game right now. And look, and it's because they only take like, I think, a max of like 8 or 9 a year, right? And so you have all the positions, and there's so many, right? Like I said, the logjam at wide receiver. That's not to say that he shouldn't have already been in.
Right.
You know, in fact, you know, he lost out to his buddy, his fellow wide receiver at the Rams. I just drew a blank.
I know you're talking about. But anyway,
yeah, there's just so many good. I think this year. And look, I'm a Bucks fan, and I think Rondé Barber should be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you were a Bucks fan.
Yeah. He's a guy that's got
that game.
Hey, beat the Cowboys, and we'll forgive for you for everything. Yeah.
But Rondé has and this is what makes me mad about the Hall of Fame in general. One, it's voted on by writers that most of them have never played the game, and it's if you get an attitude with a writer, you're like blacklisted from them. And then what happens is you have to be presented, and then they vote on you. It's a bunch of shenanigans. He's going to get in. There's no doubt about it. But Rondé, he was like, well, he revolutionized. He was only good because of the Tampa 2. It's like, well, duh. Like, he was Tampa 2. Like,
right. He made
don't
it.
hate him because
don't
hate him because he revolutionized a position that was never there. So it's all silly. But Torrey's got to get in, and I'm hoping it's this year because dang it, he deserves it.
Yeah. Amen to that.
He did it for playing for the Rams, and I hate the Rams.
I love it. But again, just beat the Cowboys, and we'll forgive you for everything. So, but now I got to move on. So I think for me, one of the biggest news this week, and that's news of Brennan Armstrong coming to the Pack. Now I know, Ken's, you're immediately like, because I know MJ's your boy.
Team
for sure.
MJ.
Team MJ, man, for sure. But again, like we said it last week, and I think everybody with NC State says, like, you're crazy if you're Doran and you don't take Brennan if Brennan wants to come. And because the thing which I immediately say, and I'll show, and it's a proof of that we are fine. But at the end of the day, I say that obviously at the end of the day, Doran can't necessarily be held for ransom of a sort, by MJ being like, if Brennan comes, I'm out of here. But also too, we all have seen MJ's character. We know he's not that kind of guy.
He's the ultimate team dude.
He's the ultimate team dude. But also too, we have said multiple times how many benefits there are for MJ, not only for just for NC State, but for MJ too. If Brennan does come, that the fact that he can finally. well, he can have competition. He can actually finish a redshirt year.
If
He can
needs
develop. He can learn the new offense.
If he needs it.
You know, because also too, again, just keep in mind, again, I remind everybody once again, is that if there wasn't competition, then you're going into next season with all of this pressure on still a raw quarterback, basically being like, if we're good next year, it is going to have to be because of you. Like, it doesn't matter anybody else. If you're not good, we're not going to be good. Simple as that. So now he doesn't have to have that stress and burden, which I mean could be great, but it could not be great too. Like, you know, it's a gamble. But bringing in Brandon Armstrong, who is a 5th-year grad transfer, who's played under an eye before.
He's proven he can play in the ACC. We still have a small sample size with MJ, although a very good sample size.
Yeah, exactly. And again, literally before last season, Brennan was projected to be first or second round draft pick. So, but either way, like I think it was a top. I know there was a lot of projection that had him as a top 5 quarterback prospect heading into next year's NFL draft.
Yep.
So, I mean, basically to say that under an eye, he was playing elite. Now, I mean, I know everybody says, well, Brennan sucked, you know, with Virginia this year. Well,
now
obviously going from an eye to, you know, Des Kitchings, which again, my heart, I love Des Kitchings. Des Kitchings is my boy. But we also saw what he did in 2019. Like, maybe he's just not meant to be an offensive coordinator. Again, I love Kitchings. He's a great running backs coach. I would argue one of the all-time greats, but maybe he's not been meant to be an offensive coordinator. So again, we will see. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think to me, this was great news. I think it was a win because for us with NC State, I feel great about it now. And now, you know, wide receivers wise, you know, this takes a huge step up for sure. I mean, so go ahead, Mike, Greg.
The other thing I would say about Brendan Armstrong, he gives you an extra on-field coach. To your point earlier, he knows a nice system. He can help MJ. He can help Ben Finley in that quarterback's room get better and learn the offense that much quicker. Because here's the thing. This is a team that's going to only have spring ball and fall camp to learn a nice system. I don't know how difficult it is. I've watched film. He makes he makes players really good. Like, he plays to the player's strengths, but you're talking about having to get up to speed to learn the system. Now, if your quarterback already knows the system, that's a big deal because obviously he's the one that's getting the ball to everybody. He's going to be able to know like where to go with his reads, where to audible to, like he's going to know all of that. But nothing to say like, Logan, I like your hot take. Like I see a place where MJ can do this, right?
Sure. Shock the world.
Here's the thing that we've talked about before, but we haven't really talked about. MJ came in the fall. He wasn't an early enrollee. So to see what he did in the limited amount of time and the limited amount of reps was very impressive. So he's got a good IQ. So that hot take is not as hot as maybe people might think. So let's go.
Well, because the big thing too is that, I mean, again, at least now you're not going basically from now until, you know, September 1st being like, MJ, you are the guy. The pressure is on you, brother.
You need to learn this.
Like, you have to do it. Like, now that he doesn't have to have that, because in the day you just got a guy, Brandon Armstrong, that you know can produce. But because everybody's, you know, says to
take two, Logan.
Yeah, exactly. Logan Tate saying something else to consider. MJ already has better connections with the guys. That's true too. So again, it's, you know, TBD. But kids, I want to hear your thoughts. Go ahead.
Dang.
Go for it.
Come on. MJ.
I just gave you her thoughts. I mean, just from watching him play, I mean, I'm always going to be Team MJ. But I do think that is only going to help him perform better. I think that, I mean, we saw what all that pressure did to Devin Leary this past season. So I feel like not having all that pressure on MJ, like, I mean, we don't remember he's a freshman. So, I mean,
he's raw quarterback.
Him coming in. I mean, he's going to have somebody to lean on, not lean on, but have right there in his
to run things by. Yeah.
And help him become a better quarterback. I think it's just people on Twitter are like making it seem like it's either like they're battling each other.
Either one or the other.
I don't see that.
They're helping each other.
No, I don't see that.
Yeah.
And
because go ahead, Greg.
No, I think Leighton, you've kind of said it. Like, I don't think that Doran was going to tell Armstrong, hey, this is your team no matter what. Like, I don't think I think he's going to say, hey, you're come in, you're going to have a chance to battle for the number one. But It's going to be a competition. Like I honestly believe that's what Doran said, because I don't think that he would necessarily tell MJ, "Hey, buddy, you're on the bench this year." Like I don't think that would be the case either.
But I mean, you're going to be real with Brennan, because I mean, Brennan's not going to come.
Well, he deserves that.
Brennan's not going to come unless he has a very high likelihood to be the starter, and more than likely he's going to be. But
at least
you know, but
at least for the first game, right? At least he'll be the initial starter, and then
and he might be for all season,
right? Because isn't that how Carolina? Like I don't think May was the starter to begin with, was he? Was it
before at the beginning of the season? Yes, he was.
He was okay. All right.
But there was competition during the summer ball. Yes.
Yeah. So So I just think that's the smarter play. It's going to make everyone a better player, and that's what you want. It's gonna drive the competition level, and you're gonna get everyone's best effort, and that's what
with
you
all
want.
the quarterback injuries, God forbid we've had. I mean, that just gives us another one to have.
Yep.
Just
for. And it goes too. Again, keep in mind. So like Nicholas says there to you, I hope the 2021 Armstrong shows up. I would understand that doubt if the reason why maybe you saw that decline wasn't glaringly obvious, in the fact that you went from a guy like a guy who was a hugely upcoming offensive coordinator, led successful offenses at BYU, led a successful offense at Virginia, led a successful offense in Syracuse. Look what he did with Garrett Schrader. And Brandon Armstrong lost that, and then went to a guy in Des Kitchings, who I love, but he's only been offensive coordinator for 1 year ever before.
Not a good year. That was
not a good year.
But we had a lot of injuries that year too. So
correct, but still, so it's a glaring okay, that is more than likely why we saw that Brennan Armstrong. But the other thing too, which I would say is, again, folks, if we don't see MJ be our starter next year, don't worry about it. That is perfectly okay, because that means two things. First of all, that means Brennan Armstrong's balling out, which I don't think anybody's going to be complaining about Brennan Armstrong balling out, because that means winning games. Secondly, that means again that MJ uses his red shirt. He can be the starting quarterback for 2 or 3 more years if he wants to. And he could have a year in the Thunder development system. He can, gain some more, which, I think he definitely needs to. But also to, again, learn the offense inside and out. And he can learn from a quarterback who knows that offense inside and out right in his own room. So again, it is a win-win for MJ. It is a win-win for us, because it immediately takes the question of, I really think so, but again, we still hadn't seen him play on the road. We still hadn't seen him play against, a top tier ACC defense. So there's still questions there, so, but again, now we don't have to have that concern going again and being like, I really hope so. But I really hope so. So win-win. Yeah. Yep. But the last thing, which I want to point out for all those who say, well, MJ is going to leave now, right? Well, this tweet here, Tuffy's tweet of the week, where Winston, basically tweeted out saying that will be you with the Pack soon. I believe you can take the Wolfpack to the next level. And MJ Morris responds saying, no doubt the Pack can and will win national championship. And you got Javonte Vereen, NC State commit, showing
no signee, not commit. I mean, he's locked in. He's on campus. He's on campus now. Yep.
Showing yep, I'm in agreement with that. Basically, exclamation points and shaking hands emojis for those who are listening in. And then I thought the biggest part, which I was right after that, which I clipped here on the right as well, was that somebody commented saying, with Brennan Armstrong or you. And MJ comments saying team first, and then quotes a quote from biblical scripture.
He's doing and saying all the right things, man, and that's what
he's doing and saying all the right things
from your quarterback.
He's telling you here, hey, listen, man, team first. Which I mean, in today's day and age, where loyalty is an odd word, that is 100% refreshing. Because I think there are a ton of teams out there that would love to have a guy like MJ Morris, who did what he did last year, and take the chances on him. But at the end of the day, I truly do believe that MJ. And Peyton Wilson. I mean, that's another thing too. I mean, the fact that a guy like Peyton Wilson is coming back, to me, again, there is so much.
Trent Penix will be back.
Trent Penix, because there was a lot of questions of, okay, this guy is not happy. He's out of here, but no, there's evidence out the yin yang that players and coaches believe in this culture that Doran has built. There is something here, folks, that is unique. And I'm saying that word, unique. And you might say, well, unique got us, 8-4 last year. Well, again, y'all,
So did injuries.
a lot of it due to injuries, but also too, again, hey, it's
4 different quarterbacks.
It's
Right.
it's building blocks.
We still
Like,
beat Heisman candidate Drake May.
I'm just saying,
I mean,
and also too, I mean, obviously, I'm not one to put a bunch of investment in Big Game Boomer, but Big Game Boomer put UNC at 3 and us at 4, which I'm like, all right, brother, I know you're a little salty because you had NC State as your college football playoff pick, and obviously we did nothing of the sort to back that up. I understand the saltiness with that, but I'm like, come on, bro. We beat ranked teams. We beat UNC. We beat the dog out of UNC with a third or fourth string backup quarterback, man.
We didn't
Come
beat
on,
the
bro.
dog out of them. We beat them. Like, it
Well,
was double overtime.
but we controlled that game,
We
man.
did.
We controlled that game with a third and fourth string quarterback, and with literally our 6th string nickelback. I mean, like Derek Pitts, who literally was playing cornerback, played nickel, and we still beat them. Like like it's that's why I'm saying, like, we didn't beat them big on score, but like.
No,
there was no reason UNC shouldn't have won that game, but we took it to them, man. We controlled that game. So anyway,
I'm waiting on one tweet of the week, and I'm really hoping it's coming up.
Is that it?
Did you send it to me? I'm sorry, Ken. I'm sorry.
Naheem.
Which one was it? I'm sorry.
Oh, Naheem. Yeah, that was. Oh, come on. How did you forget?
I'm sorry. Well, that was earlier. That wasn't like the most recent
Give me a second. Naheem, I will give you credit.
Come on. Yeah, you got to give Naheem some love.
No. Well, again, definitely, got to give Naheem some love, man. No, for sure. I mean, hey,
Ken,
man.
Thank you for keeping us on point.
Yeah.
That's my best friend.
No.
At least one of us is.
Dude, can we just talk about that real quick while you're pulling it up? Like just, one, glad to hear Hamlin's back in Buffalo. He's in the hospital, still recovering, but good to hear that he's well enough to travel. Yep. But the whole symbolism of that game, having been 3 years and 3 months since their last kickoff return, the only thing that would have made that epic is he had done 3 of them. Like it was amazing. It would have been what? Like, there we go.
There we go, Ken. Thank you.
The only Bills player to return 2 kickoffs in one game, and only the 11th NFL player in NFL history
to do 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown.
Yeah. Did anyone catch his post game press conference? Did anyone listen to that?
Oh no, I didn't listen to it.
I saw his tweet, but I didn't hear the.
I was listening to his post game, and he was just talking to how like he and Hamlin have kind of become close. Just because Hamlin had come up and talked to him after one of his practices when he first got there, and then the whole quote has been like it's like they kind of created a hashtag was called Free Hines, and because he's been like so close to busting one, and so Hamlin tweeted out the other day hashtag Free Hines, and that just
Hamlin was a fangirl over Naheem.
Dude, he was blowing up on Twitter on like he had like 20 million likes and views and
go bestie.
Oh
yeah, it was awesome. But hey, glad to hear he's doing much better. It honestly it was just amazing seeing like all these former NFL players just kind of what they were been saying and how they've been feeling, and it puts a lot of things in perspective for us casual fans. I mean, not even casual fans, but just people outside of football. What these guys put on the line to entertain us. So
amen to that, Greg. Yeah, and Kens. Yeah, thank you, Kens, for having my back on that.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
you.
Yes, thank you, Kens. Golly.
What was it? Garner. What's their mascot? What's Garner's mascot?
Trojans.
I think. Yeah, you're right. I think it is Trojans. Yeah. Are there Naeem, man? We appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, definitely representing for sure. Him and Jacoby Myers, man. Jacoby Myers beasting out
in that same game. I know.
There
you go. There's the symbolism. There's the symbolism. They had 3 touchdowns in that
Jacoby
game.
Toe Tap. Yeah, I like that name.
That
Jacoby Toe Tap.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was for sure. Yeah, but Pac Pros have been balling in the NFL. Obviously, with Icky has turned out to be one of the top tier offensive tackles, man. Recently, man.
Yeah, not even just rookie.
Not even rookie
that we needed.
I know.
He did take that. He did that. Zach was against him in the Bucs game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then Joe Tooney making it to the Pro Bowl for the first time, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, just you
got a lot of Pac players in the playoffs this year. You got the Bengals with Pratt and BJ. You got Naeem. You got Chubb with Miami. You've got Joe with the Chiefs.
You got Russell. Oh wait. Sorry.
Oh, no.
This is the Wisconsin version of Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The
that's
state version is left in Seattle.
Yeah. I think there might be one or two more that I'm forgetting, but that's just running off the top of my head. So lots of representation there starting this weekend with the playoffs. So, nope, they didn't make it either. Nope. Okay, well that's all I got in my head.
Nope.
So.
Yeah, exactly. Now I do want to point out Ted to Ted Carreras is a huge. It's funny. I think he's actually a Georgia Tech follower, but he's a big time in City Wrestling, and he writes here saying one quick Wolfpack Wrestling note: this 2022-2023 team is in a place to be as good as any team state has ever had. And all this after losing 3 starters who combined for 8 All-American honors and missing a 2-time NCAA qualifier. So, I mean, again, and I'm saying this once again, Friday night, 6 p.m., in State versus Army in Reynolds Coliseum. Make sure to check that out. And then men's basketball, 12 o'clock against Miami. And then 4 o'clock against State Gymnastics versus Michigan State. And then Sunday, I think at 3:30 or something like that. It's in the afternoon, Sunday afternoon.
We're talking about women's basketball? Yeah, 3:30.
Yeah, 3:30. Yeah. I got it. Let's go. Yep. And then in game, ask the question: DJ Burns or BJ Anya? I personally take Burns because he reminds me of Anya, but more athletic. I mean, DJ Burns got offensive game.
What are we talking about? Like on the quarter at Bojangles? Like,
wow!
What are we,
dude?
Hey,
come on, man.
Hey, look. I was joking with DJ after the game. I said, man, between you and me, yeah, you're the better basketball player. That's what I said. I was like, oh, we like to eat. I was talking about food.
He feels that ice cream after every road. That just gives him a little.
He's probably double fisting it.
No, for sure. And rightfully so. Good for him. I mean, dude, that dude is.
He earned every bit of it. They all did.
Amen.
They all did.
Amen to that. So, amen to that. And I'll remind also too, Wolfpack Nation as well, is that obviously the main guy from wrestling being Trent Hidlay, he's only a junior. You still got another year left. As crazy it is to believe, you still got another year left, y'all.
Yeah,
so
we got one more with Jack Clark next year too. So everything's not lost.
Yeah. Hey. So again, NC State fans, I can't say this enough, but it is an amazing time to be. First of all, be there. Saturday afternoon, 12 o'clock, be there.
Or you suck. I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking.
Tens. No.
If not, I'm coming after you.
With his backwards hat.
Yeah, with his backwards hat and bat. I love it. Even better. That's right, Ted. FSU fan. Yes. No. No. I feel you there, Ted. I'm sorry, bud. But the other thing which I want to say and remind everybody too is a great time to be an NC State fan. Enjoy it, appreciate it, and support all sports, y'all. Again, every single sport, anything you can do to support. Go support. It doesn't take much. It doesn't cost much. Go do it. It is worth the while. I can guarantee you that.
$15 to go see the women play on Sunday at Crapple Hill. So
yeah, just saying. So let's pack out the small gym. All right, let's pack it out, y'all. So with that being said, y'all, the other thing which I want to say from NC side is make sure if you have not checked out part 1 of our interview with former NC State wide receiver Tobias Palmer, make sure to go check that out right now. As it is live. Right now. So make sure to go and check that out. Part 2 will come out Thursday at 6 o'clock. So make sure to tune in for that as well. And to make sure you do not miss out on that, all you have to do is, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell. It's free to do. Otherwise, Greg will come after you as well. But also, too, so that way you're notified on all your devices whenever we go live with any of our Tuffy Talk content. And we're more likely going to be doing some watch parties here soon. So that way you're notified for those as well. And also, too, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure to do that. As, again, we will be covering everything NC State this weekend. We will be there at wrestling. We'll be there at men's basketball, be there at gymnastics, and we'll more likely be there for women's basketball too as well. And definitely Greg will be too. Yes. We got you, Greg. Yes, you're there. Except for wrestling, because you're getting up Saturday morning. Like, how dare you, Greg?
My wife has to work on Friday, so like I would take the day off.
How dare you, Greg?
Greg might not make it the whole game. He might get kicked out.
No promises. Yeah, no promises.
I'll keep it clean, but I'll be loud.
Michelle.
Right.
Yeah, keep it clean. That's the important thing. But thank you, Michelle. Appreciate the support, by the way. But again, Wolfpack Nation, thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much. Again, we're coming up on 2 years of Tuffy Talk, believe it or not. We are coming up here on our 2-year anniversary. Cannot thank you enough for all of your support and how much we've grown in such a rapid fashion for sure. Definitely when Mike and I started this week, I know I can speak for him and say, I mean, we would have never thought it would have gotten to this level where we're sniffing 10,000 followers on Twitter, have over 7,000 subscribers. It's an amazing thing, and we don't do it for anything more than just that we love being a part of Wolfpack Nation and spreading the positivity and excitement that NC State has to offer right now. So thank you all so much again for tuning in. We will see you all soon, and we will keep you in touch as well about the next Tuffy Talk live show, but more than likely, hopefully, we can finally get it back on Monday. But as always, baby, go Pack, y'all. We'll see y'all soon. Thank y'all again.